pledge campaign, our stewardship campaign to set pledges for the 2021 calendar year. Normally, in years past, we would have passed out pledge packets at church, but since we aren't meeting in person right now due to the pandemic, pledge packets have gone out by mail, and they were sent out this week, and so you should be receiving yours today or this weekend or sometime very soon. You'll receive an envelope that looks like this. You'll see on the cover this faith-filled generosity sort of image there. So you'll be getting a large envelope in the mail like this. So be on the lookout for that. And what I'd like to do is just talk through what you'll find in that envelope. There's a variety of things, and when you open your envelope, you'll see a number of things here. So you'll see first and foremost a letter that comes from me as the chairman of the Stewardship and Fundraising Commission, and it lays out what we're doing with our campaign, and it explains some of the other things that we have going on. So take a few minutes and read that. A couple other things to call your attention to in the packet. You will see a document that looks like this with a couple of pie charts on the front, and this is a narrative budget. This is a new thing that we're doing this year, and what this does is this explains the church's budget, not as just a bunch of lines on kind of an accounting sheet. I know that can be difficult for a lot of us to really internalize if we aren't accountants. What this narrative budget does is it explains in more practical terms where the church's money comes from and what that money is used for, what ministries and what church functions that supports. So really take a look at that. It provides some very interesting information about the church's finances that we maybe don't always think about. So please take a look at that. Another thing you'll see is a pink sheet that looks like this, and this ties our pledge campaign specifically to the COVID-19 pandemic, which I know is front and center in all of our minds. And the letter that I wrote explains that a little bit. You'll see in this there's a few different options to consider as you make your pledge to kind of reflect the situation that the pandemic has put us in, both as a church and as a society. And if you read through that, it will make sense to you, I believe. Another pamphlet that we've included is this one here. This talks about the renewal works effort that the vestry has authorized, and that it'll be kicking off in earnest in January. Preparation work for that goes on. I talk about that in the letter as well. So read through this to get a sense of some pretty exciting stuff that we have planned at the church in 2021. Lastly, and I guess I'll say this is the most important thing, there's a little instruction card here that explains how to fill out your pledge and what to do with that to ensure that the church gets the pledge on time. And then there's a chart that shows proportional giving. This is something that Father Brian talks quite a bit about. Sort of a guide for different amounts to consider as you pledge. Finally, most importantly, you'll have an envelope and the pledge card itself. So what we want everyone to do is fill this out and return this to the church. This can be used as an envelope to mail it if you put a stamp on it and send it in, and that would really be a preferable way to do it right now, given the fact that we aren't meeting in person and the church office is temporarily closed. But there's also an option, and it's explained on this card, for how to pledge online using Realm. I do that. I find that to be a very easy way to pledge, and it just makes it a very convenient way to give to the church. However you do it, we ask that pledges be turned in by November 29th. That is the first Sunday in Advent, the first Sunday of the new liturgical year, so that's an appropriate time to get those pledges in. Pledging really helps the Stewardship and Fundraising Committee and the budget set. The Stewardship and Fundraising Committee and the vestry set the budget for next year, so I really hope that everyone will consider their pledge, consider it prayerfully, and return that to the church. If anybody has any questions about this, they can contact Father Brian or myself, or any member of the vestry. So thank you for your time, and we look forward to receiving pledges in the next few weeks. Thank you all. And,